This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
Hey, listen!
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Make it so.
It's me, Mario!
I'm Batman. Strong am I with the Force.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You're a wizard, Harry.
And welcome to World War Z episode 198. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
So we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few stories to get to and to get through.
I like to think we were in mourning.
Yeah, well...
we knew before it was news.
Yeah, so since we recorded last, Stan Lee has passed away.
Yeah.
This one was tough for me.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of the times, like when celebrities pass away, it's just like, okay. I mean, their music will live on, or whatever they're known for will kind of live on, along with like Stan Lee. But yeah, this one hit home.
Yeah, well, I think because it's like when Carrie Fisher passed away. That one was tough for me too, because Stan Lee was the things that he created are so ingrained into my soul, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's part of who you are.
Yeah, it's a big part of who I am. I mean, everything that, all my hobbies, all my interests, everything, I can draw a straight line to Stan Lee. I mean, even the podcast doesn't happen without Stan Lee.
Right?
And so, you know, it was tough. You know, I just kind of sat there and kind of looked around at everything in my room. I'm like, it's basically because of him.
Yeah.
But you know, he was 95, so you know, you knew this was
gonna happen eventually.
Knew it was coming, yeah.
Although I really did think that Hugh Hefner was gonna pass away first.
Oh, he did.
Pass away. No, I thought Stan Lee was going to make it to 100.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
But I think we had taken, like, this was episodes and episodes ago. We had joked about, like, who's going to die first, kind of a deal.
Yep. Yeah, and it just, I don't know. There's been a lot of tributes to him. A lot of celebrities posting pictures that they got with him.
And this one seemed a little like it's different, because a lot of the times you'll have somebody that will pass away and people throw up all these posts about how, oh, they're so influential. Like, I've been listening to their music for years, or it didn't seem as sincere. But I guess maybe because I also associate with a lot of nerdy people as well, that these were heartfelt, genuine kind of messages, or, you know, or their true feelings. It didn't seem it didn't seem not sincere.
Yeah. I posted a little tribute to him on my Facebook page, and I've just seen dozens and dozens of people posting things about Stan Lee. And, you know, I mean, he created this whole universe. You know, he created some of the greatest characters and storylines in history.
Absolutely.
You
there
know?
has been so many, like, people that have tried to duplicate what he's done, and I mean, succeed, but it's all thanks to, you know, him.
Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can find just some of the characters that were created by Stan Lee. Okay. And chances are you've probably heard of some of these.
Just maybe a few.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of go through here. So we got Abomination, Absorbing Man, and I'll just kind of scroll down. Ant-Man, the Avengers, Batroc, Beast, Beetle, Black Bolt, Black Knight,
The Fantastic Four.
I'm getting there.
Oh.
Peggy Carter, Sharon Carter, Captain Marvel, the Daily Bugle, Daredevil, Doctor Doom, Electro, like you said, Fantastic Four,
Spider-Man,
Galactus, Giant Man, Jean Grey. He created the X-Men, for crying out loud.
right?
Hawkeye, Hulk, Iceman, Iron Man, Juggernaut.
Now, are these specific
Kingpin.
ones that are like that he solely created?
Yes.
Okay.
These are his creations, yes.
All right.
Loki, Magneto. I mean, it just goes on. And Aunt May, on and on and on. Foggy Nelson, Dr. Octopus, Karen Page, the Purple Man, Hank Pym.
It's crazy to think these
Rhino.
stories like were all from him and
Mm-hmm.
from his like creation or from his thought process, right?
Yeah. She-Hulk. Yeah, I could go on.
Magneto, actually, as far as villains go, is one of my favorites. Like I think it's such an interesting backstory, and you can see why he was so the way that he is.
Yeah.
You know, and the same goes for a lot of these other characters. They had this pivotal moment where everything just kind of shifts, and they either go good or evil.
Well, that was the great thing about Stan Lee and his writing. Whereas DC had these larger-than-life, God-type characters, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, characters you couldn't relate to. And they came from places that were made up. Metropolis, Gotham City, Themyscira.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't real places. But you take a character like Spider-Man, a teenager from Queens, New York.
Yeah.
I mean, he was bullied. He never quite fit in. I mean, you have the X-Men are also in New York. You know, they were outcast because they were born different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Stan Lee, he created characters that had the same kind of problems that the people that were reading them did. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people related to these characters so much, because they saw themselves on the page. You know, you read Superman or Batman, you don't see yourself on the page. But if you read someone like Spider-Man, you see that he's being bullied by Flash Thompson, but he has the power to stop him if he wanted to.
Right.
But he doesn't, because that would be bad, right? And so, I mean, the moral lessons and the teachings and the anti-bigotry and anti-homophobia and all that stuff that Stan Lee put into his writing was phenomenal.
Made for extremely compelling stories.
Yeah. Yeah, he managed to take the big problems of the day and put them into these superhero stories and make it so that the younger readers, kids, or even older readers could understand these things.
Right. Which is crazy, like, because a lot of the people just kind of brush those off as like, oh, that's just comic books. But you don't realize, like, how great of writing there is in these stories. And, yeah.
And I think lately people are coming around to with the whole MCU films, which again, you can thank Stan Lee for.
Yeah.
They're starting to understand that, you know, comic books are more than just like kids stuff. And they haven't been kids stuff for
quite some years.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like last time they were making comic books that were straight for kids was like back in the 50s with like, you know, the superheroes were like talking rabbits and stuff.
Well,
and,
even when they did like the DuckTales, you
Yeah.
know, or some of these other crossover Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck.
but even, I mean, that's Disney. So, I mean, that makes sense. But
Oh, as far as like you're talking Marvel.
is
yeah.
concerned.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But man, I mean, you just think of the reach that Stan Lee had with what he created. I mean, it's incredible, you know. I don't think there are any other writers or authors have had such an impact, say for like maybe Shakespeare or, the people who wrote in the Bible, stuff like that. I mean, everyone knows his creations. Everyone in the world knows who Spider-Man is. You know?
Absolutely. You can go anywhere.
And it's amazing.
I know that it's eventually going to happen. Because they've done it like time and time again, is make a movie of his life and his upbringing. Who would you like to see? Who would you like to see play Stan Lee? I mean, I'm hoping it won't be for some time, but I guarantee it'll be before 2020.
Well, there have been a few like fan-made posters out there and stuff. I mean, with like Bryan Cranston on it, or they showed a picture side by side of Tom Holland and young Stan Lee, and they look almost identical. So it'd be cool to have Tom Holland play him. I mean,
right?
He is Spider-Man after all. It'd be kind of, it would make sense.
It'd be pretty appropriate. Bryan Cranston would actually be pretty legit for an older Stan Lee.
But what I would like to do, and I would like to see if they did make a Stan Lee movie, is stay away from... I mean, obviously have the comic books in there a little bit, but focus more on just his life, and the struggles he had, and
so I imagine it would be pretty similar to, I mean, different upbringings, but I imagine it would be pretty similar to the one that they did with like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Right?
Or the one that they did with that they made about Steve Jobs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, keep Apple out of it and just focus. They focused on the man himself and the inspirations he got to create all this stuff. Sure. Right. But at the end of the day, it's a story about a guy who, it should be a story about a guy who, he started in comics as a teenager, erasing the pencils from the inks from the artist's pages, and then to come up quickly in the ranks. To start on writing for Captain America #3, that was his first book that he ever wrote. And then to go up and up and up and up and up to where all of a sudden he's the CEO of the company. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. I imagine like, okay, it would be really pretty easy for them to have him be bullied as a kid. If they started in childhood, be bullied as a kid and, want to do something more. And then you can see how, like, he created these characters. But I think that'd be almost a cop-out or, like, way too easy. Right? Yeah. The other direction that I think that would also be that I wouldn't like to see it going is I understand that, he's a flawed individual.
Sure.
But I would hate for them to focus too much on that as well. It's kind of a fine line. It would be a pretty tricky, like, to incorporate that because you do obviously want to bring in those other Marvel fans that are just like the fans of the movie, of the movies that they've since done. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, like all of us, Stan Lee, he had his ups and downs. I'm sure he had his skeletons in his closet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the man's led such an amazing life and had such an amazing career that it would be hard not to, it'd be hard not to make a movie about him. I mean, when he was in the army, he worked on propaganda films.
Seriously?
with Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
And Charles Addams, the guy who created the Addams Family.
Yeah.
It was those three guys making these propaganda films. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And the three of them were already, I think Stan Lee was at least, like really into their careers when they joined the army. So, I don't know, there's a lot there. I mean,
plenty of stuff. I mean, 95 years worth.
Yeah, plenty of stuff you could talk about, but yeah. So, if you got your glass, raise it to Stan Lee. There will never be another one like him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I consider myself lucky that I got a chance to see him in person at Salt Lake Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Got to see him and William Shatner. And yeah, that was cool. But all right. So let's take a break. And then when we come back, we'll get to our Geek of the Week. Weekend Geek.
This Weekend Geek.
This Weekend Geek. Why can't I remember that? All right, we'll be back right after this.
Now we're gonna have a break. Message time we're gonna take.
On the historic streets of Ogden, there are two kinds of people, readers and non-readers. Here's where you can find their stories.
Booked on 25th Street, located at 147 Historic 25th Street, Ogden, Utah, 84401.
Yeah, stop by and say hi to our friend Marcy. You can pick up a new or used book, or you can sell your own used books.
That's right, you can get 10% store credit on what they can sell the book for.
Stop in and say hi, or call them at 801-529-7720. You can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/bookedon25th, or you can email them at marcy@bookedon25th.com, or visit their website, bookedon25th.com.
Be sure to tell them that World War G sent you. Now back to the episode.
Now we go back to the fun. Message time is over and done.
And we're back. So, let me take you all back to the year 1993.
All right.
Okay. There was a little movie that came out called the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is awful.
Oh, it's bad.
It is one of the worst films ever made.
Especially when it comes to, an adaptation of, a video game character.
I mean, you kids today, you're getting your Detective Pikachu, which we'll talk about later. This is what we had. And just do yourself a favor. If you've never seen it, go ahead and Google it. And
yes.
You'll see what we're talking about. But now there are rumors that apparently Illumination, the people who, created Despicable Me and Minions and all that, are developing a Super Mario Brothers film, which is what I've been saying from the beginning, that a Mario Brothers movie needs to be animated.
Right. Then you're able to do everything that you want to do.
Yeah. You can't make it live action or ends up being crap.
Yes.
Like the 1993 movie, like the TV show, the Super Mario Brothers TV show with Captain Lou Albino.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, people in our generation think, oh no, that was really good. That was a great TV show. Yeah, go back and watch it. It was some nonsense.
Yeah.
Some hot Mario nonsense.
The best part about it was when they actually went to the cartoons.
Yes, when it went to the cartoon.
Yeah.
The live action stuff was terrible. But speaking to Variety, Illumination founder Chris Meledandri describes his plan for Super Mario film. He says, I like that this was not done well the first time. I think that's more exciting and more worthy than simply making another version of a film that was done incredibly well to begin with.
Less pressure is what I'm basically saying.
Reboot the crappy films. Don't worry about rebooting good films like Ghostbusters. Reboot the crappy ones like the Super Mario Brothers movie. That's the way to make it successful. But I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think they'll get some of the original cast or?
Well, the guy who does
Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins?
Or Hoskins?
No, he's dead.
The new guy that they've gotten to take over the mantle of Mario?
He's been the voice of Mario, and I can't remember his name, for years and years, for decades. So I'm sure they'll have him.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now, but I mean, the Mario voice that we know with like the Super Mario 64 and here we go.
Yeah.
It's been the same guy all these years. So if they don't have him, you're missing out.
Do you think? I mean, but they're trying to probably draw in a larger. No, they've already got a huge fan base. They don't need to worry about that.
No, they don't need to worry about it.
Do you think this is going to spark some sort of a movement for Nintendo to have like Zelda and these other ones?
Probably
like movies.
Probably if it does well.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right. I mean, it could be similar to what they did with Lego, the Lego movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's make you could make a Zelda movie or a Link movie. Make 3 of them and make them like Lord of the Rings type of epic.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that.
But I feel like, okay, I would love to see that, but I would want to see a better version of Link, not the cartoon animated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the problem that they're going to run into is they're going to want to like have crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to make whatever these guys make, they're going to have to use a similar animation, which is going to suck for future movies. Unless you don't connect them at all.
Yeah. But it's Hollywood, so they probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could introduce Donkey Kong into with Mario, and then kind of go off from there, and maybe we'll get a Super Smash Brothers movie. 10 years down the line.
Oh, that'd be so amazing.
We got Mario movies coming. We got Pokemon movies coming. I mean,
they're setting it up just like okay. It's going to be identical. They should follow the same pattern that the MCU has done. And Mario will be your Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Bring everybody together.
Yes.
I like it.
For one huge, big battle royale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of Civil War, it's Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Right? So you got all the good guys on the one team. Mario, Link, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, all that. And on the other side, you have, Bowser and
Waluigi.
Waluigi and Ganon.
No,
Peach. Princess Peach.
Ganondorf. Yeah.
Yep.
That could be pretty awesome.
That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And there would be so many different. I can already see there would be tons of Easter eggs spread throughout the whole entire movie.
Oh yeah, of course. It'd be Wreck-It Ralph type of big when it comes to Easter eggs. Just all the video game characters in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has so much potential that I want to see it made.
And then at the very end of Super Smash Brothers, there's like a portal or something opens, and at the very end, like an end credit scene, Sonic. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're left waiting for the next movie.
Yep.
I already want to see this movie.
Me too.
Right? Oh, man. So, more of a television direction. Well, I guess video game direction as well. Assassin's Creed Wine is now available. And the reason I bring up this story is because they've done this before with, like, Game of Thrones, and they've done this with like a lot of different things. They incorporate marketing and video games with like adult beverages or other stuff. Mm-hmm. Is this really that lucrative?
I think to a certain extent. You'll get a certain part of the population that will buy that wine.
Just to collect it. Right?
Right.
But I almost feel like Assassin's Creed missed the mark, and they should have done something similar to like Captain Morgan.
Right.
And gone all Black Flag direction on it.
But yeah, I mean, because this kind of person I am, if I drank wine, I don't, but if I did, I would buy that, and I would drink it while playing the game, because that's just the kind of person I am.
Yeah. Troy's over there, like, eating his Mario gummy snacks while he's playing Mario.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this kind of stuff happens all the time. I mean, going back to Mario, there was Nintendo cereal back in the day.
Right.
The 80s, just look at the 80s and cereal, just that.
In general, yeah.
I mean, it was everybody got a cereal. Mr. T, Mario, C3PO, they all got cereals and they were all crappy. Yeah. But people bought them because it had Mario's big, fat, furry face on it.
Yeah.
You know? But this seems like more of the higher end type of stuff.
Okay.
Like, you know, they're like stand aside kids. This is for mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they were going to do something, or you were going to see some sort of alcohol attached to another something that you care about, what would you like to see? I guess they could do some sort of like, I don't know, any type of alcohol like attached to. Could you do it with Superman? Because he's kind of like the moral compass.
I don't think so. I don't think you could do. You could do like a Superman like chocolate milk or something. Because that's just his. That's just his persona.
He's wholesome.
He's wholesome.
Yeah. Although Batman on the other time, I bet like he gets like drunk on the weekends.
Batman, you could do a nice like dark liqueur. You know,
you could have Matthew McConaughey even
there you go.
You know, classy it up where he does with like the Lincoln Town cars, right? You could have Bruce Wayne. It's like, you know, I don't always drink, but when I do,
drink this Gotham wine, man. I mean, it's good. It's good stuff. It'll make you feel like the Dark Knight, you know. Yeah.
If they attach those two together, yeah, I'm sold.
After a long day, you know, punching criminals and fighting the Joker and the Riddler and stuff, man, you just want to relax in your cave, you know.
That's a pretty good Matthew McConaughey. I like it.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
All right. So, going back to movies being made, Breaking Bad movie in pre-production from Vince Gilligan. This kind of happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew that this was coming. But yeah, we're getting a Breaking Bad movie. With no Bryan Cranston so far. He will not be in it.
Seriously.
So I think this is going to take place after the series. So I think it's going to be maybe a Jesse Pinkman movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think this needs to happen at all.
I don't think so either.
There's not much to really tell. They've kind of like closed the door on it.
If you really need to, I don't know if they're going to do this with this one. Maybe throw it on Netflix or something. Or
right?
Wrap up the whole series, you know, tie with a nice little bow and
well, they've got Better
good.
Call Saul as well in the mix.
That's true.
Right?
And you could bring him in and, I mean, but yeah, I don't.
It's not really necessary at all. And I don't know. I mean, I know this is sacrilegious, you know, for a Caucasian male talking about Breaking Bad, but the 5th season, it was just okay until the very ending. Like the last 2 episodes got great, but before that, I watched like up through 4 and then kind of like tapered off a little bit. It was mainly when Jesse and Walter were doing like 9 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Just while they're down there, you know, down in the basement.
Yeah.
And I got the whole episode with the fly and the fly in there that they was trying to get out. And it's like, oh, there's, you know, something that's offsetting the chemistry that we have.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Right.
But it kind of got long in the tooth and then it like wrapped it up nice and it was fantastic. But it was good, but I felt like they already put like every closure to it all.
Kind of seemed that way, yeah. Yeah. But it says that they'll begin production mid-November through early February with no cast members from the AMC series have been confirmed to return. Yet.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Well, maybe, you know, RJ Mitty could reprise his role.
Yeah. Be his story. It could be the daughter's story, or who knows?
It's a movie focusing on him.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not the biggest fan of Supergirl.
Oh, you don't say.
If you've listened to this podcast, you might know that I'm not the biggest fan of that show. But they're finally getting their Lex Luthor in the form of Jon Cryer from 2.5 Men, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles. Yeah, you know who he is. But yeah, he's going to be Lex Luthor. I don't see it, personally.
No, not really. Well, it'll be interesting, and I think that it does have some potential, just because he's always played kind of a happy-go-lucky, babbling idiot, kind of like a carefree, kind of normal dude, and to have him play a darker, more sinister role could be interesting, although I don't know how dark they can necessarily go. And this, to me, as much as I hate to admit it, this to me kind of feels like, you know how you're off the bandwagon for The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
He's like Negan to this show.
He's trying to bring people in and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it will bring in the ratings for at least a couple of episodes. If
they get him... There's two ways that I will be interested in this. If they make Lex Luthor kind of the big bad over all the CW shows, if he starts to control everything, right? If the villains that are showing up on Arrow and Flash are working for him and he's trying to manipulate everybody and, it all ties back to him, that would be cool.
Codename Kryptonite.
Or if they're using him to springboard into the Superman series, that I think is being created, where it's going to have Tyler Hoechlin and he'll be the Lex Luthor, and we'll get our own, if they're using this as kind of a backdoor pilot to the Superman TV show, then
you could be on
I could be on board for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's just solely meant for this universe and for this television show,
yeah, because that mean I'll have to watch Supergirl, and I'm not going to do that. I can't.
Yeah.
It's just that bad.
I've not. I mean, I gave it a chance. I watched a couple episodes.
Me too.
But it just, it didn't work for me.
Yeah, the only time I ever see Supergirl now or watch is when they do the big crossover events with the other shows.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'll watch it. All right. So, let's take another break. And when we come back, we got some more stories to get to. Plus, we got trailers to talk about and movie reviews and all kinds of good stuff. So, we'll be back right after this.
We'll be back after this break. Don't touch that dial, for goodness sake.
Are you feeling nostalgic about your music listening needs?
Do you like the tonal quality that only a record can provide?
Then go check out Lavender Vinyl, located at 123 25th Street, Ogden, Utah.
Yeah, go talk to Kylie or Blake. They have a large selection of new and used records. They will also buy your old records, maybe the ones that are just sitting up there in the attic, gathering dust. And if you can't find anything, they'll be more than happy to pre-order it for you. Now, you can always find them at lavendervinyl@gmail.com. You can also check out their website, lavendervinyl.com, or give them a call on the phone, like a normal person, at 385-240-0336.
Be sure to tell them that World War G sent you. Now back to the episode.
Here we go back to the show. That's the fact, so now you know.
And we're back.
Welcome back. Did you miss us? So this happened a couple of years ago, about 2013, when Instagram and Twitter hadn't taken off as much as it has now.
Yeah.
But there was a story that they had talked about that it was Batkid, where they had shut down the entire city, and like everybody kind of hashtagged it and band together to make this, for this boy to have a Make-A-Wish where he got to go around as dressed as Superman, with Superman, and being Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about Superman. I had Superman on the brain for a minute, which is really odd for me. Okay, so he went around as Batman, dressed up as Batman, and was taken down. You know, they had like some pretty iconic spots, but they seriously like blocked off the streets and made this for this Make-A-Wish to happen.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Right?
I remember that story, yeah.
They even made a movie about it, and I actually have it. And it was pretty decent. Like, it was kind of interesting to see all the stuff that went behind this, and definitely hit you right in the feels. But this just came out in the news a couple of days ago that 5 years later, Batkid is now cancer-free.
Hey, good for him.
Right? Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that... I mean, it's probably just in remission, you know, or like dormant or something.
Wow, okay. So you're saying that it'll probably come back.
But, well, okay, you don't really technically, can you really cure cancer or be cancer-free 100%?
I think so. I think it can be in remission, right?
Isn't that what it, like, isn't that dormant, basically? Right?
I don't know.
Remission, I don't know.
I'm not a doctor.
I am no doctor, but I have logged in over 2,000 hours on operation. So, I mean...
I've gone to WebMD many times.
And every single time it says that you have cancer.
Exactly.
Right? You have a cold, it's cancer.
It's cancer.
And you're just like, oh man, my shoulder kind of cancer.
Do you think that there's some people in that town, now that they know that he's cancer-free, are kind of like, well, we did the whole big thing, and because we kind of thought he was dying, and...
That kid got a free Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, I would love to think that people aren't thinking that, but there's got to be someone in that.
We spent all this money and did all this thing. Now he's cancer-free. He's not even going to die.
You know how much money we spent on that kid?
Hashtag, no.
Couldn't even do us the favor of dying of cancer.
Oh, gee. This just took a dark turn.
Yeah, it did.
For the Dark Knight. Oh, it's me again.
It's you again.
Okay. Stranger Things. You've seen both seasons, right?
Yes, I have.
And inside, they came out with, after the fact, they came out with a Stranger Things book that had, it kind of had like a behind the scenes basically in book form, and it looked pretty dated as far as the cover and the copy. It made it look like it was straight out of the 80s.
Yeah.
But it was really kind of interesting because on some of the lines, they had Morse code, and they had Eleven's Morse code little dial that she created in each copy, and you could decipher it. And if you deciphered the message, this is what it said. The week is long. The silver cat feeds. When blue and yellow meet in the west, a trip to China sounds nice if you tread lightly. What does it mean, Troy?
I think it means that those are things you're probably going to see in season 3.
Right. With the season 3 teaser trailer, they did. This is like the most that they've uncovered, or what they have an idea for, is the hands on the clock in that mall were blue and yellow. That's
where blue and yellow meet.
Right?
When blue and yellow meet.
And it would meet, a couple of times? Well, I guess every minute, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to decipher it, but I got other stuff to do with my time.
Yeah. Well, and if blue and yellow meet, it'd probably be midnight, right?
Yeah. So something's going to happen at midnight?
Or 6:30. I don't know.
A trip to China sounds nice.
Shooting stuff in China.
The silver cat feeds. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you tread lightly. This does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it all makes sense throughout season 3.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with waiting. Although I really can't at the same time, I can't wait for the season to start.
Of course. Whenever that'll be.
It's going to be it's scheduled for July.
Oh, okay.
So not too far away.
So next summer.
In the not so distant future.
So we got another writer, famous writer who died. This guy didn't get quite as much fanfare as old Stan, but William Goldman, writer of The Princess Bride, dies at 87. William Goldman, the Oscar-winning screenwriter and Hollywood wise man who won Academy Awards for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and All the President's Men, and summed up the mystery of making a box office hit by declaring nobody knows anything, has died. He was 87. And the whole reason I bring him up in the first place is because he did write The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest films ever made.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
But I always thought that was confusing because there is an actual book, an actual Princess Bride book, and then you have the movie based on the book, and then, but in the movie it says The Princess Bride was written by S. Morgenstern, who actually didn't write the thing. William Goldman actually wrote the book and the screenplay. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's all over the place. But I seriously only associate The Princess Bride with the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Which has got some of my favorite lines, you know, and like every time anybody says like marriage, I'm always thinking in my head, marriage, what brings us together here today? Love, true love, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been popular in my house for sure. It's probably my brother's favorite film. He actually took the time to write down the entire screenplay as he was watching it. Yeah, he would pause, write it down, and he wrote down the entire freaking screenplay.
Now you can just find it online somewhere.
Yeah. All that time gone,
wasted.
Yeah. Also, speaking of The Princess Bride, if you really want to know a lot about it, get Carrie Elwes's book, As You Wish. I heard it on audiobook a few years back, a couple years ago. It's really, really good. If you're going to do it, do audiobook because they get all the stars of the film on there. And they tell stories from the set. They tell stories how it was made. I mean, it's awesome.
It makes the movie that much better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Man, now I'll have to check that out for sure.
To know how long that Mandy Patinkin and Carrie Elwes practiced that sword fight between Inigo and the Man in Black. And that was the last thing that they ever shot in the movie. Because they were practicing the entire run of the film. They were practicing that sword fight. And it all culminated. And that was the last thing they shot. Was that sword fight.
Dang.
On the Cliffs of Insanity.
And then once they actually got it, you know, they just like hug it out and call it a wrap.
Call it a day. Yep.
Wow. That is pretty cool. I didn't know that. Movie magic, right?
Yep, movie magic.
Pee-wee's Playhouse returns to TV next week, starting with a 24-hour marathon.
Oh, it's coming back next week. So is this new?
This happened.
New Pee-wee?
No. This is the original show.
Oh, the original Pee-wee.
They're bringing it back. Yeah. This was 2 days ago, so the marathon's probably going on right now as we speak. What are we doing? Recording a podcast, right?
Should be watching that acid trip of a TV show.
This, to me, I don't really care. I mean, I watched, like, some of it when I was growing up. Did you watch a ton of it?
I did.
Watched every episode, pretty much?
Not every episode, but I watched a lot. And as a kid, it was weird. Mm-hmm. And as an adult, it's even more weird.
Yeah.
When watching it again. Yeah, it's... I don't really know why Pee-wee Herman has become such this iconic character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not really sure why. I always found him kind of uncomfortable. He made me uncomfortable.
Where did he touch you?
Well,
did he show you his pee-wee?
yeah, so many jokes I could make there.
Right.
But I just felt uncomfortable watching it, and it just, I don't know why he became so big. It's like if Tim Burton directed a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Pee-wee's Playhouse is, which is ironic because Tim Burton directed the first Pee-wee movie, but yeah,
There's
it's
no
really
basement
bizarre.
in the Alamo.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really bizarre.
And I didn't realize this, and I had to read through the article a couple of times, but from 1986 to 1990, that show won 20 Emmys.
20?
I'm not kidding you. Earning
Holy
more than
crap.
20 Emmys during, its initial run on TV. Right?
Okay, well, more power to him, I guess.
Apparently so.
But I guess he did Pee-wee on stage first.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a stage show. Then he brought it to TV. Then he did another stage show for a while, kind of a revival thing, and it just won't die. Pee-wee will not die.
It would be like Ernest, Pete Whirl, or some of these other, I don't know, Bill Nye.
I wish Ernest was still around.
Really? Compared to Pee-wee?
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked Ernest so much better than Pee-wee.
Especially Ernest Scared Stupid, and Ernest Goes to Jail, and Ernest Saves Christmas.
Well, those are the best.
Yeah.
Love those films.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube, and they have a compilation of all the Ernest commercials that he did back in the day. They're so freaking good.
There's even a television show that he did afterwards that was Hey Vern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yep,
that was
Ernest
another
Goes to Camp.
great
Yep.
one.
Yeah, I love Ernest.
Although it's weird because, going back to Pee-wee, Paul Rubens,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't seem to age.
No, he doesn't.
Right? He looks the same.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. And the man's in his 60s, and he's still it's weird.
They're probably going to do something similar to Super Mario Bros. And have him introduce each episode.
Yeah. That'd be fine if it was just Paul Rubens, not Pee-wee Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rubens talking about the episode and pay attention to this, or this mistake, or, this was the first time we did this, or just kind of tales from the set, or,
Personally, I think that he should have gone the direction of stand-up comedian. Right? Kind of pulled a Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Said whatever he wanted to, been as crass as he wanted to, but gone more stand-up.
Yeah.
Than revising this, trying to get this show back on the air.
Well, if it works, I guess. But
although, it's bad because, he still can't get away from that porn theater that he was in.
Yeah.
They even mentioned it, twice in the article.
Even though that was almost 30 years ago.
Right?
Yeah. But what else are you going to do in a porn theater? I mean, it's not like you're eating concessions.
Some buffalo wings or
Yeah.
something. Oh, jeez.
Maybe you should actually keep your hands busy.
And out of your pants.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's take another break. And when we come back, we got a few trailers to discuss and then some movie reviews. So we'll be back right after this.
Break time's here, we have to say, listen up, don't go away.
Thanks, Troy. Hi, everybody. This is Sean Ray.
And John Irons.
And we're the hosts of Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk podcast. We're a show that has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we talk about movies and TV and cartoons, entertainment news, and every show has a different theme.
That's right. We might discuss anything from our favorite bad movies to who would win in a fight between C-3PO and the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. That was episode 41, a classic You can download that episode and all of our other episodes on iTunes and Stitcher. We're on Podcast Addict and, of course, on our website, cosmicpotato.com.
It's special guests and movie news and geeky nerddom and nerdy geekery and lightsabers and Time Lords and Ninja Turtles all the way down. So check out Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk podcast.
Now we are back for some more. Big time action is in store.
And we're back.
Let's talk some trailer trash.
Yeah, there's been a few trailers that dropped, actually, but the ones we want to talk about are specifically Detective Pikachu. And there's been a few teasers for Toy Story 4. So, let's talk about Detective Pikachu first. When I first heard this was happening, I was confused. Especially when they said it was going to be live action.
Right.
That's really strange. And then I saw the commercial, or the preview, and that's really weird. Then I watched it again, like, it's, okay. I don't know what to make of this film.
I feel like they've actually done a pretty decent job of bringing Pokemon into the real world.
They have.
Which gives me hope if they actually made a live action version of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, oh, this actually has potential. This could work.
Mm-hmm.
And then it reminded me way too much of the Ted movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And only one guy can understand Pikachu.
Yeah. I don't know. People have been sending me this because they think that I really like Pokemon all of a sudden. I don't.
No.
Yes, I've been drawing a lot of Pokemon. That doesn't mean I like Pokemon. Ever since I've been doing that, I've been getting a lot of people have been sending me like Pokemon memes and stuff. I'm like,
I'm gonna start sending them.
I'm not obsessed with Pokemon. I'm just drawing them. I mean,
come on, Troy, you gotta catch them all.
Anyway, if you're doing it, stop sending me Pokemon stuff.
Please send more. You can text those memes too. No.
But I don't know. I mean, I'll probably end up seeing this.
Oh, for sure.
Because it has my interest piqued.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really strange
premise.
Yeah, really weird idea.
It's unique. It's different.
Yeah.
He's trying to dive into... Well, and that's what's weird is because they've never done a Detective Pikachu. You know, they've never had like Pikachu as a detective. It just seems like so out of the norm and just... Like, he puts on the hat and all of a sudden he's a detective and can help find his father, who's like the guy's father who's gone missing.
I wonder if that is a thing, Detective Pikachu.
I've never heard of that. I mean, it might be, but I didn't even know. The other thing that we were talking about is that I think that it could, I want to say that it'll be PG-13, but it seems like there could be so many jokes that, you know, he could say or do that could make it almost rated R.
Which would be crazy to do.
Right?
It'd be crazy. You're not going to have Pokemon and then make it dirty.
You don't think there's like a lot of stuff left out of the trailer that he's wanting to say to that girl that just sees, you know, that scene where he's talking to the girl and she's like, yeah, he's saying Pikachu, you know? I imagine he could say something like horribly crass and...
But they're not going to do that, though, because kids are going to be in this movie.
Yeah?
Yes. So many kids are going to go see this because it's Pokemon. That they're not going to put any sort of, I don't think, any sort of sexual innuendo in there.
Some Pokeball reference
exactly.
Jokes, right? He's always peeking at you.
Well, apparently there is a Detective Pikachu video game.
Really?
That is a thing, yes.
Huh.
So I don't know.
I guess we went out of the loop on as far as this game goes.
So I don't know if that's what they're basing it on or what, but yeah, there is a video game. Yeah.
There you go.
There are articles out there of course, that people have broken down the entire trailer and counted up all the Pokemon that you see, and yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including the nightmare fuel that is Mr. Mime there at the end. It's disturbing. I did like seeing the big cage fight with Charizard.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, besides that, we also got a few teaser trailers from Toy Story 4.
I know you're all for it.
Yes. I'm all for it. Yes. I don't know what to make of these yet. There was one with them kind of dancing in the circle, holding hands, with a song playing, and then there's this sentient spork that's saying, "I'm not a toy," and then freaking out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means. And then another one dropped where it's basically Key and Peele. I mean, it is Key and Peele as a stuffed bunny and chicken, which was funny.
It was.
Which was really funny.
Clever.
And then, but when they show the logo, Toy Story 4, it's like in, there's lights around. It looks like a carnival.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's where this is going to take place.
Okay, where did we last leave off with Woody and Buzz Lightyear?
Where we last left our heroes, they were given to the little girl by Andy.
Yeah, as
when he went off to college.
Right.
Yeah. And they've had a few videos straight to, a few like TV specials. And they've basically just been living their life, but now they're with this girl instead of Andy, still going on their little adventures and stuff.
So are they going to take a page right out of the first one and have them go somewhere and one of the toys gets lost at this amusement park?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Unless that little girl donates them, or I don't know, maybe a carnival comes to town, or I don't know.
Motive for, yeah.
I don't know. But whatever they do, I'll be happy. There are rumors. There are rumors that they're going to kill off Woody, which would. There's no way. There's no way they'd kill off Woody.
I kind of hope they do.
There's no way.
Then they would put it into Toy Story, because you can't have a Toy Story movie without Woody.
That's right. It's true. I don't know. I can't see them progressing past this. Of course, I couldn't see them progressing past 3 either. But here we are.
Yeah.
So. But I'll continue to watch it.
Is this going to become like
it and
Land Before Time, or because they've done this with a lot of them? They have how many 5 Ice Age movies?
Yeah.
And how many Shrek movies?
4, 3 or 4,
right? And all these other ones they've kind of done more and more.
But don't lump in Toy Story with Shrek and Ice Age.
I totally did.
Those movies rely on stupid fart jokes and stuff.
And you don't think by introducing and bringing Key and Peele into the mix, it's going to have some...
They're not going to do fart jokes. Or Key and Peele... Well, okay, yeah. They did do a few fart jokes every now and again.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. There's a certain class to Toy Story. All right?
Yeah.
The farthest they ever went was they kind of mimicked Buzz Lightyear getting an erection with his wings popping out all of a sudden.
Right.
But I think that's as far as they ever went, as far as that goes.
They did have that other toy that had the legs and the fishing hook.
Yeah.
It was supposed to represent a hooker.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah. I don't think they'll sink down to
Ice
fart
Age level.
jokes, Ice Age, Shrek level.
Yeah.
Let's keep a little bit of decorum there, boys, please. Don't let me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
You'll see it either way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course I'll see it. I'll probably be in the theater by myself. all these kids be like, you don't know Toy Story.
The way
None of you know Toy Story like I do.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
These movies are in my soul.
All right, calm down, Pee-wee. Speaking of things you have seen in theater, let's break that down.
Yes, we've seen a few movies.
Yeah.
So here's what we'll do. Let's start with the worst first, in my opinion.
Okay.
And let's no, not quite.
Okay.
The House with a Clock in
yes.
its Walls.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Which I saw because I had nothing else to do.
So if you've got nothing else to do,
it's not great. So here's the premise. There's this young kid. I don't remember his name, actor's name or character name.
Yeah.
But his parents die, and so he's dropped off at his uncle's house, which is played by Jack Black. And there's this crazy neighbor played by, what is her name? Really famous actress. Really famous English actress. Gosh dang it. I got podcast brain. Anyway. And so, while in the house, he starts to discover that these weird things are going on. That the chair is alive, and that the stained glass window is moving, and blah, blah, blah.
Kate Blanchett.
Mm. Yeah, that unknown actress.
She's been in a couple of things.
Yeah, she's been one or two things.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Jack Black is a warlock. Why? I don't know. They don't explain it. But they have to fight this evil warlock who's come back from the dead. Spoilers, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see it anyway.
Yeah, no.
The kid accidentally brings him back from the dead, and apparently this guy and Jack Black were magicians and partners back in the day.
Yeah.
So are they magicians or are they warlocks? I don't know. It's really weird.
To me, reminded me of like that Goosebumps, like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In that same vein.
Yes. It's definitely a kids movie, and so they're trying to make it scary, but it's not really that scary because it's a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing really makes sense, and it's all just fluff and filler and bright colors and
loud noises.
The most disturbing part. So the villain's grand scheme was to turn back time to where before mankind never existed. Because he does that, then there'll be no one will experience pain ever again because no one will have existed. Really stupid.
Yeah, okay.
And so when he starts to do that, there are a few people that get affected because they're in that initial radius of his magic thing, whatever, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people that it happens to is Jack Black. So you get Jack Black's head on a baby body. And it is disturbing. It is real disturbing. Which doesn't make any sense because the other people affected by it just turned into children. But for some reason, Jack Black had a baby body and human adult head.
That sounds awful.
And it was real. It wasn't CG. It was a real animatronic. You can go on Facebook and look.
Really?
And it's not fun for anybody.
No.
But yeah, I'm giving this one out of 5. I don't know.
Clocks?
Sure. Oh, the clock. Yeah, that was a thing. Doesn't matter. This movie was garbage. I'm giving it 1 star. Clock.
Oh, wow.
1 clock.
Yeah.
1 whatever. I'm tired of talking about it. Let's move on.
Okay.
The next, I'm guessing, is probably Grinch.
Okay.
Because this is just a remake of a remake of a remake of a story.
They didn't really bring... That's why I was asking him, like, did they introduce any new songs?
No!
Any new characters?
No!
Any new anything?
No!
Oh,
it's all the same thing. Okay, they did introduce a big fat reindeer by the name of George, I think. But even then, he's kind of a supporting character, and he's not in it for that long. But it's okay. So y'all know the story of how the Grinch stole Christmas.
Right.
Right? This is exactly what it is, except this time the Grinch is talked by Benedict Cumberbatch. It was his American accent is weird. But the Grinch, you don't ever figure out why. Well, you kind of do. Why he's so ornery and hates everybody. But it's not that. Okay, so like Jim Carrey's Grinch, he was kind of vindictive and.
If I can't do it, then nobody can.
Right, and he set fire to the tree, and he was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This one, he's just annoyed by everything.
Yeah.
You know, he's annoyed by the guy that he has to pass when he's going back to his cave. That's played by Kenan Thompson. This overly holiday who. He's annoyed by everything, and that shtick wears thin quickly.
So, a person that you can really relate to.
No. But it just gets annoying.
Yeah.
I got annoyed. Like, all right,
you can relate to this, Joy.
let's move on.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's all the same thing. You know how the story's going to end. They sing the exact same song after he steals everything around the tree. Yeah. Same song. There's a narrator, just like there's always been. Except this time, I think it's some hip hop artist. I don't know. Didn't really care that much. So, out of 5 fat reindeers, I guess, I'm giving like 1.5.
Okay.
There were some cool visuals because it is CG. So when he is stealing everything, I mean, he does use some kind of cool gadgets, and but overall, I mean, we don't need another Grinch.
No,
let the Grinch die. Let the Grinch just go away.
And Troy's heart shrunk 3 sizes today.
Let Grinches lie. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Where do you want to go? Want to do?
I'm thinking a Star.
Stars Born?
Yep.
Okay. Stars Born. This one stars Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga,
who actually did an awesome job with
She's
this.
actually really good.
Right?
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
So Bradley Cooper plays this aging country music star, who has problems with alcohol and pills.
Sex, drugs,
Yep.
you name it.
And while he's in kind of this, after a show, he goes and finds this bar. Turns out to be a burlesque drag bar, where he sees and meets Lady Gaga's character. And he's kind of enraptured with her. He hears her sing. She's really good. And so they kind of start this little relationship.
This courtship, yeah.
And he kind of takes her under his wing and writes some songs, and she starts to get famous.
Because of him.
She
piggybacks off of his fame.
Yeah. Like she'll come out on stage with him and sing songs, and all of a sudden she starts to rise higher than him. She has become more famous than he.
When I first saw this movie and the trailers for it, I thought he was the star that was born. And it kind of like they went a different direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't his rise to fame, fandom or, fame. It was hers.
It was hers, yeah.
Yeah. Which she kind of went a different direction as well. Like, I feel like she lost sight of who she really was for a while.
Yeah.
Right? When she started doing the more pop Britney Spears kind of look. And
with
direction.
The dancers in the background, and yeah,
it really takes away from. I mean, I get that they can incorporate both and still make it work, but at the same time, it detracts from the music, and you have to have a certain type of music to go along with these dances.
Yeah, and I will say that I'm not a big fan of country music. I'll even go out as far as to say I don't like country music at all.
I wouldn't go out of my way. I wouldn't like turn it on the radio, but I don't mind it. You know.
But some of the songs that they had on there that he was singing are actually really good.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure if it was actually him singing or if it was. Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was him singing. But yeah, I mean, like we're saying, I mean, it's Bradley Cooper. You know he's going to be good. But the surprise of this movie was Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She delivered one heck of a performance.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you feel for her. You see this relationship start to build and start to deteriorate and then build again. And
that one scene where she's accepting an award and also taking care of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt for her so bad. I was just like, this is your moment. This is kind of,
Mm-hmm.
And it gets taken away and wow.
It gets cringy.
Yeah.
It gets real cringy. But no, I really liked this movie. I thought it was really well done. I was expecting, another like romantic comedy
Notebook,
or like a Notebook or something like that. But no, they deliver like a real serious drama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was really surprising.
With some nice country music in the mix.
Yeah, with some good music.
Yeah.
So out of 5. What do you think? Guitars?
Yeah.
All right. Out of 5 guitars, I'm giving it. I'm probably 3. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, same here. There was a couple of parts where it kind of drug on after the incident.
Yeah.
That I get that they wanted to show, her and like the aftermath.
Yeah, and you could kind of see that coming too. They foreshadowed that pretty heavily.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Although it still comes as a shock when it does happen.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Because you're kind of like, is it gonna happen? Is he? Yeah. Okay.
No. All right. But overall, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good.
If you get a chance, you can go check it out. You can find it on Netflix or Redbox or something, and it's like, oh, I remember they were talking about this, and yeah,
it's worth a watch.
It is worth a watch.
Speaking of movies that are worth a watch, Overlord. This one is the newest J.J. Abrams movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, basic premise, they actually did a pretty good job in the trailer of telling exactly how it is. You've got these soldiers that are going into war to take down Hitler. Well, their primary objective is to take down this huge structure, this tower that's up on the hill. And because it's got all this communication, like, they think it's just got communication, or more of a way to take down. I mean, if you take down the communication from the front line, then you can win the war.
Right.
What their thought process was.
Right.
But they put you right from the get-go. They put you right in the heat of the battle where guys are dying left and right and falling out of airplanes and getting like killed as soon as they land in the trees. And even his commanding chief that he wanted to come out, and help out because he was surrounded by these Nazi soldiers, he gets pulled back at the last moment, and there's only about 5 survivors.
Yeah.
And so they kind of like lay low for a little bit. And it reminded me a lot of Wonder Woman. You know, when they go actually into the town, kind of they're surrounded there and laying low for a little bit. It reminded me of Wonder Woman, Captain America, because there's this Red Skull-esque character in it. But things take a turn real quick when they realize that, this serum that they're trying to create super soldiers, turns them into zombie-esque creatures that won't die. They're brutal. And, man, the CG in this is phenomenal. Like, you see these zombie creatures like you haven't seen before. It's pretty gnarly. And it doesn't help that they're in these tunnels and close quarters, and trying to take them down and trying to survive. And this whole, I mean, because they're sent to do this mission and they want to succeed, but they also want to take down this place so that nobody can have this technology. You know, if the, just take it down in general. And it gets pretty intense. It's awesome. Like, there's some scenes that they're jumping over and like bullets are whizzing by your head. And this one is one of those movies that I would definitely recommend seeing in the theater. You need that kind of surround sound to be fully immersed into this movie. But it's it's pretty awesome. I'm a huge fan of like zombie movies and of action movies, and it was nice because it was also a lot of like lesser known characters. So you weren't distracted by trying to see them in this role.
Right. So we're not like, oh, there's Tom Cruise up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that kind of takes away because then you just see Tom Cruise or, you know, like running around doing these things. You don't see that character, but because they took these like lesser known ones, you actually can relate to them, and they're their own character. They they stand on their own.
Yeah.
Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. There was a couple of like parts where it reminded me of like these 80s action movies where you've got like Anaconda, or maybe that was the 90s, right?
Anaconda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Late 90s.
Okay. Or even like Jaws, where they just won't give up and they're relentless and won't die.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, okay, I mean, it wasn't as suspenseful when they do it like 5 or 6 times where they keep coming back. It's just like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
They're not going to die. Like, you're just holding them off and not really killing them. But overall, I thought this movie was pretty awesome. Out of, let's go out of 5 zombie creatures. I'm probably sitting at about a solid 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really well done.
All right. So then last we have Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
Okay. I've never been the biggest fan of Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. I like their bigger hits.
We Will Rock You. You know.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You know, all the usual ones. So this is basically the story of how Queen came to be.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury.
Yes. Even though going back and doing some research, there are some inaccuracies. But regardless. Yeah, this is the story of Freddie Mercury and how he ended up becoming the lead singer of Queen, how they ended up, you know, getting their record deals, how they ended up being this giant band, all culminating with the 1985 Live Aid performance.
Yeah.
Which is known as one of the greatest live performances of a rock and roll band ever.
Absolutely. They had to be a part of this. If they were like anybody who was anybody at that time was at that concert performing.
So let's talk a little bit about Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. Man, did he dive into that part.
He did.
He disappeared.
Yeah.
Whether it was, you know, the big fake teeth he had or whatever, but he had the perfect accent down. He had his mannerisms down. I mean, when he was out there dancing on stage, I mean, those were Freddie Mercury's moves that he was doing. I mean, he looked like him. He acted like him.
Yeah. It was spot on.
Yeah. I will say, though, because of that, because his performance was so strong, the others couldn't really keep up. The other actors in the film.
Which that actually makes sense because he was the front runner. He was the main character. I mean, rightfully so in the movie. I mean, they focus more on him, but they all got shadowed by him.
They did. Yeah. And that was one of, I wouldn't say an issue with the movie, but it's one of those things like, well, you kind of push the rest of the members of the band aside. You know? The other thing I didn't like, and a lot of biopics will do this, especially with music bands is they show how they get the inspiration with their big hits, you know? And I don't care. You know, I don't care that the bass player came in with that, Another One Bites the Dust riff and just started playing it during an argument. I thought that was kind of lame.
That one was the only one that I felt like it felt a little out of place. For the most part,
Felt forced.
It did feel forced.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the rest of them, it did seem like, you know, a lot of the times, like you'll get a movie like Mamma Mia or some of these other ones where they have to change the story to fit the direction of the song, so it makes sense. This one, it almost seemed like his whole life story was told through his music, and then they just, I mean, it worked a lot better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's definitely not.
Yeah.
I just wish that they kind of went in a different direction and kind of hitting these key points and key songs and stuff.
Although they did, like, especially at that Live Aid concert, they did introduce a few other Queen songs that I hadn't really heard or were lesser known ones.
Yeah, like that song Radio Gaga. I'd never heard it before.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised at how much time they spent there at the concert.
Yeah.
You know, like typically you'll get one of these like Steve Jobs kind of movies, where it'll show a little bit and then that's the end of the movie.
That's the end,
Yeah. This one, they almost did like a full 15-minute like length concert. Like it gave you their full set.
Yeah. And beat for beat, because I went back and watched their Queen's actual performance on YouTube, and they nailed it in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, beat for beat. I mean, everything he did.
Well, other than him swearing.
Well, yeah.
And we're like, F you.
But yeah, it's really interesting. It did make me go back and kind of look more at Queen and kind of research a bit more and, you know, see how much was accurate, how much wasn't, and
how accurate was it from your findings?
It was about 75% true.
Really?
There was 25% that they kind of had to
add in there
to kind of build drama and stuff, like when they got all upset that he had made a solo record. They were all making solo records at that time. That wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And when they said that Freddie knew that he had AIDS when they were at the Live Aid concert, he didn't. He found that out about 2 years later.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he didn't.
It made it more heartfelt, and for them actually, it gave them cause and reason to perform. You know, so yeah, okay.
And there were a few other things like that, like where he met certain people in his life, and where he didn't, and stuff like that. But just little things.
Okay. The one criticism that I do have for this movie is I'm not a big fan of those movies where they push a certain agenda too hard. Like I'm perfectly fine. Like I thought, like even Hidden Figures, Remember the Titans, some of these other movies where they touch base on like, you know, sensitive subjects.
Yeah.
But then they just kind of like hit on it and move on with the story. They don't like make it a huge focus. That one movie, Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch. I felt like they hit that issue with, you know, him being gay as well. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it, but I felt like it came on way too strong. It wasn't like as seamlessly woven in the story. Mm-hmm. That would be one of my other criticisms.
I mean, obviously it was a huge part of his life. And ultimately it was the cause of his death. But it was a little heavy-handed, like when they were doing a show and he was on the payphone with his then girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you see that trucker and they make eyes and he goes into the men's room and then you see the word men just like right front and center.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
All right. I get it.
I get it. He's gay. Yeah, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from.
It does seem like, and like it's weird because I'm liberal. Okay, I've got more some conservative beliefs or values, and then also I'm more liberal than a lot. You know, so I'm perfectly like fine with it. It's just when it comes across as like too much, like they're pushing a certain agenda, that is like, okay, I get it. What?
I was gonna say, so they were ramming it down your throat, but I didn't want to.
A little heavy-handed.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
Don't ram it down my throat.
I didn't want to.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. So overall, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I liked the music in it. I liked, like we said, Rami Malek's performance is amazing.
Yeah. Do you think that this will spark them to make a Beatles movie and a couple other ones?
They've made a few Beatles films. Nothing on that type of scale. I wish they would.
Right?
Because I'd be first in line for that. And I could point out all the inaccuracies just sitting there in the theater. But I think you'll probably get kind of a swelling of music. Music biographies and stuff. I think we'll see more of that.
Yeah, most definitely. Out of what, 5?
Out of 5, cats.
Okay.
He really liked his cats. I could relate to him on that one. You saw him walk through and he had like 5 cats.
And they each had their own bedroom.
Like, that's me every morning.
I could totally see Troy taking this to the extreme and doing that.
Yeah. I'm giving it 3.5.
Okay.
Because I think, like I said, Freddie Mercury, that performance just overshadowed everything else. But that performance was really good. So.
Yeah. 3.5 myself as well. I really found myself. I don't know. It was hard not to like be tapping your toe, throughout the whole entire movie.
And I was with some really energetic people in that theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they were doing "We Will Rock You," they were doing right along with them.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was so cool because they were one of the first. Was that pretty accurate as far as them being one of the first to incorporate the crowd into? I mean,
in that big of a way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, that's pretty ingenious. Now it's like a staple. You know,
Mm-hmm.
You'll get people like clapping along or yeah.
Yeah, but the cool thing is with that Live Aid concert, if you go back and watch it, you can see when the crowd is clapping along to that Radio Gaga song,
mm-hmm.
you see the sound wave go through the crowd when they're clapping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy looking.
Yeah. It looks awesome. There are so many people. Think they'll ever have anything like that? They've tried with like the iHeartRadio concerts that they do,
but they haven't gotten anything even close to that.
No.
What I was going to talk about. So, did you see these in theaters, or did you see them
in theaters?
In theaters,
yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about my theater experience.
Okay.
That I had going to Cinemark down here at the mall.
Yeah.
It was it's really interesting, and it made me see kind of where theaters were starting to head as far as the future goes.
Okay.
So you go there, and they have this arcade. Now, arcades back in our day
mm-hmm.
were, the video games in the cabinets, like Pac-Man and stuff like that. We're not quite that old, but you get my point. Mortal Kombat, Battletoads,
right.
Those sort of games. Well, now, a lot of them are basically you win tickets, you win prizes.
Right.
That's what they all are. What I didn't realize is how sophisticated they've become. And it made me feel really, really old because they're all computerized.
Yeah.
All of them.
They are. I've been there. That's where I saw actually both these movies at
Cinemark. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in there and they have this giant Space Invaders game. Like it's probably like 10 feet tall, and it's one you sit down. You have this giant gun and
Gatling gun looking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And but the thing I felt really old on is I was waiting. So what you do is you go there, you swipe your card, and you get this kind of this fun card basically, and that's where all of your preloaded money is.
Okay.
Right, it dispenses out of the machine. So instead of getting like dollars or quarters or whatever, you get this little card and it has a certain amount of money on it. So you go and you swipe it, and each game is like a dollar, so it'll tell you the balance you have. So I'm playing, and I'm saying, "Oh, I earned so many tickets," and I'm sitting there waiting for tickets to come out. No, it's on the card.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
And so I felt like such an old man. I'm like,
which games did you?
Where are my tickets? I played like pretty much everything in there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even the little Iron Man pinball that they tucked way back in the corner. I even played that.
And that's also on a card as well, the pinball machine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty futuristic.
Yeah, it's all on cards. I felt really, really old, but so there's that. So then I go into the theater, and all the theaters now, at least in that one, they're all that leather reclining seats. So that was nice.
It's way nice.
But now what they're doing is, you know how they have the pre-show, right, before the preview start? Now you can make it interactive. You can download an app where when it comes up, you can actually play games on your phone looking at the movie screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's this app called Noovie, Noovie. And so, like, they had this little thing for Wreck-It Ralph. And there's that part in the trailer in Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet where he's feeding the pancakes and the milkshakes to the bunny and whatever it was. Well, that's what you're doing, except you're on your phone and you're looking at the movie screen. And so you're flicking the pancakes at the bunny, right?
Oh, wow.
Trying to hit these little areas. And then it'll show you your score. And presumably the other people's score that are playing in the theater as well.
Would it post yours up on there?
I wish it did, but no, you only see it on your phone.
Okay.
But I thought, that's kind of cool. Like, that's kind of innovative.
Right?
And I just felt so old. I just felt like such an old man. Like, look at this technology.
The future is now.
The future is here. This is amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Remember my day, we had paper tickets. Yeah.
And you'd have somebody, like, take your ticket.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, I did that job.
But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was fun. I enjoyed my experience down there.
I've been saying this for a while, that I really think that they're going to make a choose your own adventure movie. Mm-hmm. And the people in the theater are going to dictate the direction that the movie goes.
Yeah, pull up your phone, look at the thing, all right, I want this one. And then majority wins.
Yep.
And then that's the path you go on.
A Cabin in the Woods-esque type movie would be really cool. And it would be really interesting is if you had, like, the actors and the cast, like, interact with you. I mean, it's breaking the fourth wall kind of a deal, but I think it could be pretty funny. But also, I think that would make it so people would go see the movie a couple of times with your friends and say, hey, we've already seen this direction. Let's see if we can't get it, like, choose it to this.
Right. Yeah. And then if there's only, like, a couple of you in the theater, you know, you can do whatever you want in the film.
Yes.
You're controlling the movie. How cool would that be?
That would be so awesome. I would purposely, like, wait until the movie's just about to leave the theater and then go see it, you know, with just a select couple of people, and you dictate the movie. Yeah.
That's gotta be coming, right?
Right?
At least in the next 10 years.
Oh, for sure. But I don't know how you would, I mean, I guess you could do something similar, if you're watching it from home.
That's true.
Yeah. Then you can see the different, like, avenues and different directions that the movie takes.
But that's a good idea, though, because you get people going to the theater, first of all.
Right.
Buying the tickets. Plus, you get younger people there because they're encouraging you to pull out your phone and to interact.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, put your phone away.
It's like, nope, I can pull it out, old man.
Yeah. In my day, we had paper tickets.
But then you'd also get them to go back to see the movie again
Yeah.
to see if they couldn't change the direction and the outcome of the movie.
No, yeah, it's a good idea.
Man,
I'm
we are
sure.
in the wrong business.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm
Oh, for
sure
sure.
it is. All right. So here's where you can find all of our episodes. You can find us at worldwarg.podbean.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, and cosmicpotato.com. You can also find us on the social medias at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can also find all of our merchandise, all of our shirts at shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. Now, this is episode 198. We are 2 away from episode 200.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've already got questions coming in. We have a few, but we could always use more. So, if you want to call or text the show your questions for episode 200, you can do so at 385-240-1692. Just leave a message and we'll get it. So, this has been World War G episode 198. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
And you have been a lovely audience. Stay geeky, my friends.